Periscope, all sorts of live streaming platforms around the world. My name is Joseph Matting, and I welcome you to Playing Games on Wednesdays. If this is your first time watching the live stream here with us on Wednesdays, what we focus on here is playing the games that you made in the Sandbox Game Maker. These games, at least during the current time, are being designed for the most part for the Sandbox Game Jam and or your personal ventures. Throughout the week, with the permission of Hello Valiant, with the permission of those folks who are designing, I will review your games at any point. Had a few users do this earlier this week, one in particular over on Twitter. They sent me a request to review their game, and I do that process here through the gallery function of the Game Maker. But before we get into that, happy Wednesday. Thank you. I see it in the chat. Before we get into that, I want to go over, as you may know, this is the first Wednesday in 2021. So we have published an article, the 2020 Year in Review for the Sandbox. Many of you who are watching came into the Sandbox at some point during the year 2020. We made great strides as a company for the Sandbox throughout the year and have big plans for 2021. So I'm going to go over this year in review, and then I'm going to briefly mention how we are going to change even live streaming through the rest of this year. So thank you all for joining me. Loving you guys in the chat already. I appreciate you. And let's talk about what happened in 2020 really quickly. I'm going to hit the TLDR a little bit, which means, if you're not familiar, too long, didn't read. Okay, 84,000 user accounts are registered on the dashboard on sandbox.game. 84,000 users already, and we are still in version 0.4. We have not even released the metaverse. There's not a game client in the public at this time. Quite a lot of users. These are users who are generally interested in the Sandbox for designing those games. That is a super huge number for a pre-launch, you know what I mean? Super excited about that. The community, right? The community, which is huge. It's right here on Twitch. It's right here on Periscope. I'm seeing comments. I'm seeing, hello, Panda. You are part of my news today, and I appreciate you joining over on YouTube. We have 200,000 plus users across the Twitter, the Telegram, the Discord. And in those channels, we try to stay engaged as a community, especially as community managers like myself, try to keep up with the requests that you have. So again, please ask questions all the time. We hope that we can continue to grow this community organically, as well as, of course, through like the marketing aspects that we do. But we want to grow the community with quality, right? To that effect, with the quality that we've tried to focus on, the metaverse map itself has increased 5 times its estimated value over the course of this last year. And initially, it had a rough valuation of about $5 million for all 166,000 plus lands. It's currently up to about $25 million worth of lands. Not all, of course, have been sold. A portion, less than 50% already sold right now. Sold more than $20 million worth of sand. Worth of virtual lands to this point, right? Sorry, 20 million sand worth of virtual lands and 2.5 million US dollars worth, about 40% of that total map supply to get up there roughly. And then, of course, we launched in beta all the primary tools used to create content and games as NFTs. The Metaverse first public alpha version is slated to come in Q1 2021. We are testing this internally. And as a note, I do want to bring up that you can see that feature in your Game Maker client version 0.4 now. So if you are a game designer who is making games, and we'll get to that here in a bit, I just want to make this as a note that there are 2 publish buttons right now. When you publish out to the gallery, especially if you're making a game for the Game Jam and you wanted me to test that in the gallery, keep in mind that there's 2 publish buttons, and one of them is a globe, and one of them looks like a paper airplane, right? The paper airplane goes out to the gallery. The globe is the metaverse. The metaverse is not ready for many users, so it will tell you if you try to publish it to the globe that it's waiting on approval. Theoretically, it could be approved by an admin or moderator on the website, but that said, we are not even looking at that really right now, except for official artists, teams that are working on the games that will be the pre-season 0 and season 1 games that are released. So at this time, when you publish, make sure that if you want to see it on this stream, if you would like to send me a DM about it, ask me some questions about how to make your game better as we're going into this game jam with a $10,000 prize, publish it with that paper airplane so that I can see it there for you. So, let's see here. It says you're all NPCs. You guys are so funny. AI bots. All right. So, there's a more detailed version of that over on our Medium. If you go to medium.com/sandbox-game, you can check out this article in its completeness, the 2020 year in review. Okay. We have more things coming, but I want to talk right now about the things that we have coming and try to keep it brief. I, along with the team, of course, we're making some changes to the reward system that we give on the stream, because we are about to exponentially increase the number of streams that you see every week, and at the same time the number of opportunities that you all have to win NFT awards. So let's see, why will people play on the metaverse if they can play in the gallery? Sure. So the people who play in the metaverse are going to be using the proper game client. So when you are, and this isn't right at launch on development, but if you go to the website and you're not a game designer, you won't be downloading the game client. Or I'm sorry, you would be downloading the game client, and you would not probably be downloading the game maker because you're not a designer, right? And many of our users, as we get into this marketing push, are going to be feeling that. They want to play the games. They don't necessarily want to make them, right? So you as a game designer, if you were publishing a game, you would want to publish it to the metaverse if you didn't want people to get a sneak preview of it, right? So there are 2 publishing options. The gallery is usually going to be used for internal testing, showing someone the game and getting some eyes on it in kind of like an alpha status, I suppose, or a beta test, right? And then you publish it to the metaverse as a complete version when you're done, when the metaverse is ready to be published to. So you could, I suppose, download the game maker just to play games. That's totally fine. But most of those games I would project as the client, as soon as the client's ready, I think most of those games won't be completed in the gallery. They'll be tested in the gallery, and then actually complete versions will be only on the metaverse. But you know, that's up to the developer. If they want to publish into the gallery all the time, then you could do that at the same time as your metaverse. But I don't project that coming through. Now, further into that, in our roadmap, we have mobile development slated for this year, 2021, at some point. So if the mobile app is in the App Store, it's not the Game Maker app, right? So you have 0% opportunity to capture that audience if you publish into the Game Maker gallery. That mobile audience is going to be using the client only. So players there will hopefully convert over to being game creators and asset creators over time. But if they're not, they're never seeing the gallery. So hopefully that answers that question for you. All right. So the 2020 year in review, that's all wrapped up. Let me flip things over to game capture. It's going to bring you to my games, which in 0.4 I have not imported anything personally. I'm here to play your games, test them, show you what's going down. We got some new stuff in the gallery, some things that I tried, so that folks can get that feedback. We are going to do that. And as I get into this, I want to detail what I mentioned earlier, just briefly. I mentioned that we are changing the rewards program in this year for these streams. In previous streams, we have given away 100 sand tokens 3 times per stream. But we're going to pull back the sand tokens a little bit, okay? With the intent that we are multiplying the number of streams you can watch and your opportunities to win NFTs going forward. So what that means to you is that the Wizzy NFT, you would have an opportunity to still win this in every stream until they're gone, right? But for now, the number of streams is going to go up from 1 or 2 per week to a number that I can't confirm, so I won't say, but I can confirm that right now we've got 4 streamers, right? We've got myself, we've got Alex, we've got Panda in the chat. I believe that's correct from my understanding. And then someone who will Panda would be exclusively doing VoxEdit streams, so you can learn how to create assets live on stream. And then we have what I believe is Spanish-speaking exclusive stream. So if you are a part of the Spanish-speaking community, and maybe English is not your first language, then hopefully this will be good, and you'll enjoy more diversity. With the long-term goal that we would also add a Chinese stream, we would add a stream in Korean, from my understanding. We would have one in, I think, Italian, but those I'm still looking out for good talent for that. So, yeah, I may be Portuguese. Because I would have to. Well, maybe not Portuguese. I would have to check what his localization is exactly, because I know that they're similar, not the same, and I definitely understand they're not the same. Oh wow, this person has a huge Stewart asset. That's pretty rare. In this game. This game is full of unique and rare NFTs. This is great. So yeah. So hopefully we'll see some new stuff here. Let me interact. Welcome to the arena. Here you must face 3 foes and their horde of goons. Best of luck to you. Best of luck. You are the ninja destiny chose. All right. So, quick feedback if you were the developer who made this game. If you're going to put in a text block, what I would recommend to do is open up a word processing application and just type that in there so that it can autocorrect for you. Just that's the easiest way that I could put this. The word horde is incorrectly spelled here. No big deal. But want to maintain as much immersiveness in your game as possible. So if you can get something else to spell check for you, that's going to make, 100% immersion possible. All right, so I'm going to drop into the arena. Hopefully that thing behind me is still a spawn point when I inevitably die. Oh, the mummy was pretty easy to kill. Okay. Maybe this is not so bad. I got a lot of health against these guys. I'm going to guess that the spider's a big bad. Nope. Okay. Spiders are kind of basic. I get it. Taking out the mummies. Big centipede. Is this going to be a big bad? Well, all right. Big centipede is real easy to take down. Let's have a look. Huge Stewart, you got to do something for me. All right. So I guess quick feedback that I'm seeing here is that everything is way too easy to beat. Got a lot of health. And a lot of enemies, but none of them are a challenge on any level. So let's see. Does anything respawn? Am I missing something? Are there secrets? Was this like the pregame? All good questions to have answered. Where's this person going? Where are you going, Mummy? Don't run away from me. All right. Um, sure, yeah. So this is an arena with no victory condition as well. That's important. Make sure that when you're designing your games, that your game always has a victory condition, which means essentially you always have to create some kind of quest. One, it looks like you can climb this, so I may climb it and get up there, and hopefully something different up there. The ninja kind of floats. They got a pretty high jump, which seems fine. It is a ninja after all. The staircase could definitely be wider, so that it's easier to walk up, but that is just my opinion. Some people like the concept of a nice jump puzzle, so you could do that. All right, let's see this dragon. I literally one-shot this dragon. Got a victory condition in the final boss arena, so I guess that answered that question. Everything's way too easy. So here's what I would probably do. If I was redesigning this just as it is, just as an arena of sorts, is I would create probably, and I mentioned this on pretty much all of my streams, that you want to have a main quest and a side quest. I think those are essential to having any game in like early version, main quest, side quest. And then hopefully some kind of furthering the world building by having more of these kinds of conversations along the way. So what I would probably do is set a checkpoint with, if I was to jump off of this, I jumped off right up front the first time, right? Right as soon as you jump down, you get into a proximity, you set a trigger, and it says, I don't know, kill all the mummies on the map. And you've got mummy number 1 and 2 and etc., right? Once all the mummies are killed, then you can trigger a victory condition where the last mummy on the map maybe is over here where this other spider is or something, right? So you get a victory condition for quest step 1 over here, and there's a person that spawns in and says, oh, thank you for saving me, and what have you, right? World building elements because you're having a conversation. Now that person asks you to take care of all the spiders in the world, right? There's no more mummies left. Spider would be over here on these couple of pedestals. Maybe the spider on the staircase here takes care of the spiders, and that person who was far away now spawns here and says, oh, that centipede's so creepy and scary. Can you can you kill that? And you go kill the centipede. Even, you increase the difficulty as you go slightly. And you can make each one of these NPCs that spawns a healing totem, right? Like a transparent healing totem spawns near it or something to that effect, with a radius where when you're having the conversation, your health goes up. You could increase the difficulty because you would have regenerating health that way. And then you've gone through these 3 or 4 different checkpoints of difficulty. As you ready yourself to fight this dragon, go fight the dragon. Yay, you've won. That can be a free way to get a win. Other ways to do things that are like side quests are, and you see it in most of these games, like keys or coins or gems or something, are left in places that appear to be hidden, like maybe under this staircase. There could just be a flying coin right there, and you jump up and grab that. Come back. Expanding slowly over time with little elements like that in a game like this could get people to come in, have some quick fun with it, feel strong at the end, and have a reason to explore after they finish the game. Because if you defeated the dragon the first time and you ignored all the little secret coins and etc. or what have you, you would want to come back into the game if you see the quest pop at the end and it says you missed something. So those are the primary things that I look at just in this world here, but I do like the fact that it does feel like an arena with specific areas for specific, I want to say like, oh, what happened? 2 frames every 3 seconds? Uh-oh. All right, let's see if that alleviates things. I'm gonna have a look if anything is bottlenecking as I'm playing, just so that I can fix this up for you guys, because I don't want it to lag. Yeah. Okay, I think I see what's going on. It's probably because I have about 1 million things open on my web browser here. So let's see if I can close things that I don't need. Apologize for the wait here on this. Yeah, it was like this in the last stream, and I definitely saw it there. I tried to fix this. So here's what's going on my hardware end. I am like a super hardware enthusiast nerd, right? Many of you probably don't know, but I've actually got 2 different PCs that I use for this. And it used to be that once upon a time, I would stream out of my primary PC, which has, a 10850 Intel i9 processor in it. I would think it would be able to handle this, but for some reason, there's a little bit of lag here. I would normally stream out of this PC and into another one. But in doing that, I upgraded the PC, got a new 3000 series graphics card, got a 2K monitor that does all the nonsense. But the 2K monitor doesn't allow me now to stream out into the Elgato card that I had because it was only 1080p. And the 4K capture card that I bought doesn't work in the other PC that I have because it is a 5-year-old Xeon server rig that doesn't have enough PCIe threads to manage it. So basically the solution in order to minimize lag is to slowly optimize as I fix this problem, or spend another $1,000 on a computer. I am inclined to do the latter, but my wife, let's put it that way. So hopefully I can figure out a way to get this all cleaned up for you guys as we go. I'm already seeing my CPU pegs a little bit when I'm doing this, with OBS being some 50% of that. So yes, Gentry. The Sandbox in its current version is a full 3D remake where we have a game maker and we have an asset creator separately from the game client, and the game client hasn't actually released for the Sandbox just yet. So it will be taking a giant leap into the future with the intention that we've included blockchain technology so that you can actually truly, for the first time ever, own your assets that you create, kind of mint them or print them or what have you, and then publish those and sell assets that you create in the Sandbox. So in the Sandbox Evolution and a previous version of the Sandbox on mobile, those, first of all, of course, were in 2D, and then secondly, the assets that you created could be recreated by someone else, or a lot of different things, but you couldn't sell them, you couldn't own them truly. You could create them and you could publish them and have a lot of fun doing that, but we're looking to build towards a world with true ownership of assets, and already in doing so, we've created an economy that is in the 100 million plus literal economy around the Sandbox game. So join us, have some fun with that. It would be super cool to have you come and learn how to make games in the Game Maker, and we do streams here every Wednesday that talk about basic critique, and then every Saturday that talk about more intense, like, skills-based learnings for these games. And we have currently, if you want to dive right in, we are currently doing a game jam where you can use the Sandbox Game Maker, which is a free tool on sandbox.game, to earn up to a $10,000 equivalent prize in sand, but you can do whatever you want. You can use the sand to mint assets. This is a cryptocurrency. You can use that, or you can offload it as US dollars if that's, if you need the money, if that's your big driver. You can use that sand, of course, to buy land, which allows you to publish your own games in the Sandbox metaverse when that goes live. And that's right around the corner. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can do. Mikaias, this is my job. So I appreciate you over there on YouTube. Come back, stick with us, have fun. I'm like 1,000,000 years old. You know what I mean? See here. It says you made a VoxEdit asset, but you weren't able to upload it last month. Can I do it now? Michael, not yet, unless you're approved as an artist. If you would like to be approved as an artist, you can apply right now at fund.sandbox.game, and we pay the artists to create assets right now. It's happening. That it is based on a project-to-project kind of creation, where we assign creations for those artists at this time, but they can publish into the marketplace. You can use those marketplace assets right now, and then as the marketplace launches to the public, as the metaverse launches to the public, they're kind of going hand in hand. The timelines on those I don't have for you right now because I can't make that public, but the as soon as the marketplace goes live, then you're able to push to the marketplace, and you can already see that feature available in VoxEdit, just not usable because it's based on approval at this time. It's not publicly open. And the Game Maker is kind of similar to that. Game Maker games can be published. If you create a game in the My Games section, you can publish it either here to the gallery with that paper airplane logo, or to the metaverse, which is just around the corner with the globe. And right now, again, the metaverse requires approval and that sort of thing. So, yeah, it's super cool. So, it looks like there weren't a lot of games published to the gallery this week, and I think that may be because most people didn't realize that we had made this change with 0.4, where the globe was the metaverse and the paper airplane was actually the gallery. So if you have a game that you've designed this week, and you're working on it and you're trying to get ready to try to win that big prize in the Game Jam coming up by the 23rd, those games have to be submitted. Then please push it out into the gallery and let me know that it's there. I can give you feedback on it live. I gave you user feedback on this, as I mentioned earlier, via Twitter. They asked me, and it was Andy here, they asked me to play the game. And actually, if they don't mind, I'm going to play it right here live again and go over the things that I noticed when I played it right away. This was a very early start. They made it very clear that this is not a completed product and it wasn't intended to be completed. And I just gave some quick little feedback hits on this when I tried it out right initially. It's all good, Machias. It's all good. This is so many people don't know this, but I used to run my own podcast and journalism outlet once upon a time, a few years ago. We had a following of about 1.5 million people, but I was really bad at this thing called selling myself, essentially, right? Like, I didn't know how to make money as a journalist. Like, had a lot of articles, a lot of following, a lot of people who watched and listened, right? So I shut that down and I kind of moved on. But I got to tell you, a funny story that I had is I was on Twitter, right, doing my thing, making the tweets, and somebody came through and they just they roasted the heck out of me, right? And they did this, they just came at me with all this unsubstantiated stuff, and it's all good, right? I didn't take it offensively because I realized in the moment, and this is just the only one I can remember because it was the first time it ever happened, but I realized in the moment that I had felt like I made it, like I had succeeded in life because I had somebody coming through and they were roasting me, and I was like, if I was nothing, if I had done nothing, I would have never heard this direct insult, right? Anyway, so that's just a nice little allegory from me to you, for those people watching. All right, so the first thing that you see when you come into this game right here, and the first thing that you notice is that you get a quest right away. And so this is something that you can do, but you don't have to do it this way. You can make it so that you must interact with a person or character in order to get a quest. But in this case, immediately spawn proximity to object, get a quest, collect 2 gold keys. So I can see with my eyes a gold key right now. And I believe that it was intended that you go get that gold key first. And obviously you can see the struggle down here, right? This is a lot of struggle going on. If I went to go get that gold key, I'd have to fight my way out. But I did not play that way because I'm a weird one. And right here, there was another gold key that I picked up first, which is fine. It's fine. It's open-ended. I was able to complete that portion of the quest without any struggle. Interesting thought here. As I'm jumping around on this grass, I would recommend that you make this grass no collision for the asset. So hopefully it's not lagging too bad for you. I know that it's probably choppy a little bit, but make the grass no collision here because you're standing on the grass, you're not standing in the grass. And if you do that with all those elements everywhere, it's going to feel more like real grass. Grab the second key, right? Got the second key, and immediately it transitioned over into the next quest. This was a completed quest that has a transition phase. I found that to be quite good. This is what you want to do. Typically, you want to make stages to your quests or multiple steps, if you can. I want to jump in that hole. I'm compelled. All these creatures are probably going to kill me. It looks like they did. But when I respawned, it didn't game over. It respawned on death. So that is an avatar trait in the game maker that you set. Is you can make it so that it game overs when you die, or you can make it that it respawns at a certain location. We went over 2 Saturdays ago how to make checkpoints that are nondescript just around the world. You can make things like this that don't have to be visible if you don't want them to be. They can be anywhere in the world so that you spawn at the nearest spawn point as well. So that's something to look at if you're considering that. Jump along the blocks for the smart route. Oh, very good. Okay. So that's interesting feedback, Andy. I wouldn't have noticed that. But I think that is based on the asset that you chose, that it didn't stand out to me. Because they are gray, I didn't think of them as a thing to jump on. So something that you could possibly note if you want people to have the smart route, but not make it like, you know, I guess I want to say ultra smart, but maybe that just means I'm playing ultra dumb. I try to come at this with like a 10-year-old's mentality, is that when you play a game like Uncharted Drake's Fortune, or you play God of War, the single-player experiences that are about fast-moving action-adventure, typically they make things slightly highlighted for if you're supposed to jump on them or interact with them. Like when you play the Ubisoft shooter game, The Division, if it's something that you can jump on, they'll lay a tarp over the thing, and you can jump, and you'll see it because it's a color difference, right? And in this asset that you have there, I have heard of Pixel Gun 3D, yes, and that there are lots of games that I've played in my years, as I mentioned, as a game reviewer, games journalist. I would be given quite a lot of them over the years, but Pixel Gun not being one of the games I was given. So, you know, with intent, I was supposed to jump on that. I totally didn't again. Wonder if I can kill a thing or two before I die. Hey, I got a couple. There it is, easy. Anyway, so when you're in this design aspect, you may consider finding an asset that has a bit of a highlight to it, so that it is the... And you can see how that was the smart way to jump up. Literally, this sign right here could have been a sign for me that could have been that highlight. If I was more attentive to that, I would probably have noticed that. When the game is more a little deeper, you can see the path over here. That's good. Whoa, skeleton boy, what are you doing? What are you doing out here? So the The path is nice and defined. There's a lot of good things about this in the early, like, I know that this is something you said you like barely started and you only just got into, but I liked a lot of this just right away. Damien, I don't care for the fact that Damien's covered up by this piece of cloth. If the building was turned the opposite way around, I think that would be good, just because this user isn't all that obvious. Okay, give them the keys, and then it says kill the boss or they will destroy the village, and this is the part where the person requesting it. Let's see here. I'm sorry, I gotta see this. Yeah, okay, watch this. Yeah. So, if you're not aware and you're watching live right now, during the course of this stream, at some point, I'm going to release a form that you can fill out to be eligible to win an NFT that is exclusive. And an NFT is the kind of asset like this pillar that you see walking around, except that it's given a unique serial number, and there are a limited number of them ever available. They can't be reproduced or recreated. They are copyright protected assets. So that NFT will be given away. There's only 200 of these that will ever be given away, and 1 per stream that we do here. So right now it is Wizzy the Blue. And as part of what I mentioned earlier with our ever-expanding list of streamers that we are adding in different localizations, languages for a global audience that we have, these NFTs will feel even more limited, I believe, because the 200 of them, based on my math, will run out. If we have a new stream every day, they'll run it in 27 weeks. You'll never see it again. So, twice a year, there will be a new kind of NFT. So the people who are here starting today, and they're here for the next 10 years, you're going to see assets that are given away that are going to feel super exclusive to somebody who shows up in 10 years. So I'm super happy about this change that we're making to the streaming program. And I'm excited to see what we can do and how I can help as I help lead our new streamers into the 2021 year. So I'm going to go back to main. So Roy Goob, you said, where's everyday stream? And that's exactly what I'm talking about. Stream every day is the goal. Right now we have confirmed 2 new streams, and I have not built the schedule yet for those streamers and confirmed their availability, but as soon as I can, we've got one of our internals out of, I believe it's Argentina, Spanish speaking, but I don't know the dialect of Spanish, or if it's Portuguese and I'm just a dumb American, to be clear. So we're expanding our languages that are available. We're expanding the streams that are available, and I will be producing many of those to start, which means that I will be there providing the links, interacting with the chat as I can. Now, I am not a linguist. I don't have multiple language skills, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to be expanding my palette of language skills because I want to be sure that I can help as many people as I can. So it's going to be really cool. German stream, I think that's very likely. However, we don't have a strong German audience yet. Of course, you only get what you give, in my opinion. We can build that. And if there are folks in the community who are producing content, who are dedicated and want to help, want to work together, we can do that. And another thing that we're talking about going into 2021, because it's a new year, there's a lot of new things going on. And again, this is the first stream that I'm doing for the new year, is that we want to take these Wednesday streams to another level, right? I'm here in the chat. Andy, you have made this stream possible in part because I just played your game. But if people who are in the chat are interested in it, I am very much open to the idea of having you properly in a call in an interview situation on these streams. And that is part of the direction we want to do going through 2021. We intend to feature certain games later on in the year on the main page. So if you have designed a game and you want to have these interview situations, let's get it signed up, right? Let's get it done right now. Hit me up on Twitter at TheVisionX. Say, yes, I want to do it. Or at me on Discord or at me in our Telegram channel and say you want to be involved. You want me to have a look at your game. You want to discuss the game live. Because when I play the games, I don't necessarily know where you want to go with the game, right? But good for me is good for you in this sense, in that you can now advertise your game in a way and get people to play it because you can talk about where it's going in the future. So if you're a game developer who is watching and you're working with the Sandbox tools, then please, I would love to have those interviews with you, with everyone. Andy, I would be into it with you too. Like if you just want to sit down and talk about next Wednesday, what you have changed with the game that you're making, we can get into a call. We can talk about it. If you want, I could put your face up. If you want to do that, that's all good. If you don't want to do that, that's fine too. I understand not everybody wants to have their face on the camera. I'm also going to take my experience with podcasting and I'm going to break it down so that you're not nervous when we start. We'd have like a 30-minute lead up time. I would preface the questions that I'm going to ask. You can preface the answers that you're going to give me. We'll make it real nice and easy and really smooth so that everybody who does produce a game can come in and not have that like, oh, geez, I'm going to go live, and like that pressure that you get, especially if you've never done it before, because I know that pressure. I remember the first time I ever heard my own voice on a recording, I was like, no, that's not me. No, you know, so there's a lot of stuff going on. And Aloe, honestly, if your English speaking skills aren't good, that's totally fine. I know that some people, you know, all those little things that like people think are like big deals, especially when we're talking about the Sandbox. Like, we're not an English speaking platform. I'm actually one of two people that even work out of the United States at all for this company. Two, as far as I understand. Myself and Alex. And everyone else is working out of France, they're working out of Argentina, they're working out of England and India and Korea and Japan and all over the world, right? So primarily, we like to see diversity. It's okay if your English isn't perfect when you speak it. We are all about a global community, so bring what you've got. If it's something where you would say you don't know the word in English and you had to speak it in German or what have you, because I think you mentioned that just a few seconds ago, that great. Let's do it, right? And I can try to figure that out and like translate that out as well as I can, right? But it'd be super fun to just sit down with you all in the community one-on-one. We can go over your game here on Wednesdays. And then if we go over your game on Wednesdays, when it goes live, I'm going to re-promote it here on the stream. When it's done, when it's ready for the metaverse, whether you publish it to the gallery or not, or you only publish it to the metaverse when that's gone like live, I want to re-promote those games that we have interviews for here. I intend to put an ad right here. If I'm pointing the right direction, I can't see it because I'm trying to make sure that my frame per second, that's wrong. Right there. Put an ad right there, essentially, that pops up roughly once every 60 seconds, like way over on that side over there, you see the Sandbox that says, hey, now streaming the Sandbox Game Maker. I want to do the same thing with your games, right? Work on a logo thing, like work on the marketing of your devices or your games, your products, because that is as important as talking about how the game is designed, is how do you get people to actually come to your game. So again, the point of these streams here on Wednesdays, on Saturdays, all throughout the week as we go, is to help you get out there, help make a better product, help become a better ecosystem on the whole for the Sandbox, and in turn, we will get more people who are interested in playing our games and more interested in being in our community. So 10:45 right now. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and give out a form. I'm going to give out a form, and keep in mind that, again, this form is exclusive to, and I've got responses turned on. I know we've had that issue in the past. this form is exclusively for the purpose of winning the Wizzy NFT this week. We're changing this format because we're going to expand the number of streams that we have. I'm going to do it as soon as we possibly can. I'm working on the back end to get these number of streams increased. And I'll have more information on that for you, I think, on Saturday when this will go live. But basically, it's going to have the same total value out to the community, and these are the things that I consider on the back end. So let me get this up for you in the chat. Boop, boop, boop. Cameron, hi. Welcome to the stream. What we are doing here every Wednesday on Sandbox streams is that we play the games that you game makers have created and publish into the gallery of the Sandbox game maker. Just got out of a game with somebody who published it, and they are here in the chat. We gave them live feedback. They gave us a live kind of direction or their intentions with the game. And we give this back and forth to help create better game products here in the Sandbox game maker. These games will eventually be published live to the metaverse, where folks can come and play your games for free or paid, your choice, as a game developer. So yeah, I'm super hyped, super excited. I had no idea. Juniors hockey. I don't even hockey, right? That's not my thing. I'm such a nerd. I'm here on the computer. I play a lot of Rocket League and League of Legends and stuff. That's my version of a sport, you know what I mean? Even though I do love watching American football, because I'm weird. So, I've got the form in the chat right now. Remember, in order to fill out this form, you must have the unique email. I will notice if you have a duplicate email on there, so only one submission, please, in the responses. If I get it back with a parenthesis something when I do my random number generator, and you can see that, I think you can see that I see these responses live. Maybe not. No, it looks like I've still got the game maker open. But the point of this is to win that with a NFT asset. So this is unique. And I'm going to leave that up until the end of the stream, which is about 12 minutes from now. And I'm going to go poke around, try to find a new game. Again, not a lot of new publish. I think this might be new. Beyond Spirit Alpha test, they say, which is interesting. I like that. Alpha implies that the game is still actively adding new content to it. Oh, thank you, Gat. I like this. In the chat, Godzilla says that they reached out last week for questions about where they were supposed to be positioned relative to what they were doing. And I try to stay, they said that I was thoughtful, and I appreciate that sentiment there. Okay, I think I've played in this before, but the spawn point wasn't here, so it's very good to see. They have a legitimate tutorial when you first start. This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. This is not entirely accurate, but I am loving this idea. Look at this. Welcome to our village. Use WASD keys to move, spacebar to jump, and the right click to attack. So this is inaccurate. It should say left click. Unless you're a left-handed user and you have it on like a Kimbo or something. I don't know if that's a setting in Windows. Be interesting to know. So you may change it to just say and click to attack. Trying to put together a little team. That's very good to hear. If you are interested in trying to put together a team of designers, there is a section in our Discord chat. And I'm going to take just a second to link our Discord. I got to tab lots of times to get there. But our Discord chat over here has a dedicated section for your building a team to make games. So you can find artists in the Discord, you can find creators in the Discord. Just keep in mind that if you are designing the games right now, the games have to be transferred user to user, kind of back and forth, in order for multiple people to work on it, which means that it's best, in my opinion, to have a diverse team of people from all over the world, if you can. because you're going to have the file for 8 hours a day or what have you. Let's say you go really hard on it, you make it a full-time job, and you do it 8 hours a day. But if your partners are working on it in the same times that you are, then you may be working on different things that you then can't merge. So you take it, complete your portion of it, send it to the next person, take a little break, couple hours here, couple hours there, go back and forth on it. I think that's the best way to collaborate in that way. Otherwise, you can prepare something for when the marketplace goes live, if you like, by designing a game and using filler assets, placeholder assets, right? So like in this case, you have all these nice gentlemen with the hat on and the backpack here, all these 5 different NPCs that just say NPC. And maybe your artist is designing 5 different NPCs, but you don't want to use any default assets that are in the marketplace. You just want to use your designed asset. So you finish your game up, and then you replace the asset, because it's pretty easy to do in the game maker to change what it looks like without changing all of its function. So you can pre-build all your function and things like that. Same thing with the enemies, right? Like if I was coming up here to fight these enemies, maybe these dogs aren't everything. And I remember the last time I played this game here live on the stream, I believe I spawned up top, way up there. And when I killed the dogs, the door opens. There's some good progress going on in this game. I don't know who's designing this, but a clear, obvious path. It feels like a tutorial, but then moves into a full-fledged kind of adventure. A little bit simpler. Look at me, I can't jump. There probably is plenty of time, Aloe, for creating a game as a solo designer. I believe many people who are designing are doing so solo. So I wouldn't worry about that too much. This is interesting. Okay. I got a key. Right away, it says collect elemental fragments, right? This is something I talk about all the time when we're talking about building these games, is that you should have some kind of quest that rewards adventuring or exploring in your game. Because, as with a game like Skyrim, you're just expanding the options for the player. It expands how long it takes to complete the game. Gives you a sense of accomplishment when you have completed all of these fetch quests. You know, they're not just this rewards you for exploration. It also gets people to sometimes share more often with these kind of collection quests. You can see guides come up online that says how to collect all the or where to find all 100 elemental fragments inside the sandbox, whatever this game is going to be called. So it gets more eyes on your product when you have hidden quests like this, and I highly encourage them all the time. If you're designing, you know, a game like Pong, then maybe this is not the case. Maybe you don't want to have hidden things, because, or a game like Fall Guys wouldn't necessarily need a bunch of hidden assets, but you know. Yes, and that's true, Panda. You can see the I'd love to see an entire Skyrim-sized map for this game. Well, let's talk about how big this is inside the in the game maker right now. This game that I am on, and I don't know if you noticed how big it is, but it's 96 meters by 96 meters by 128 vertical meters, right? This game is only a 1x1 space, and it's massive compared to the character. If you open up the game maker right now, you could start, and you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm just going to do it live. And forgive me for not even finishing this game, but I just want to show you how big the games can be now. We're going to go to the desert because I think it's the flattest one. And desert size check. I'm just going to create this. It's going to take a minute to load. We're talking about 400 meters. 400 meters, essentially, with 128-meter vertical. It's going to be huge. So, let's see. The one guy who owns the rest, Roy, I feel you. It is difficult. Some people come through and pick up those lands, but, excuse me, I have like a whole energy drink here. I normally drink that before I start the stream. I like opened it as we went live today. The the land that when you try to get land and somebody else picks up the couple of pieces right next to you, and then you've got enough money to go get the rest of them. It's very hard to find those people who have your adjacent land. One thing that I did in the past was that I traded someone. Yes, and this will be almost half a kilometer in either direction when I'm loading this 4x4. I'm not even sure that I'm going to be able to run to the other end. I'm hoping that this isn't totally destroying the stream quality right now. Okay, I'm just going to click play. I'm going to click play, and where am I spawning? Am I spawning in the middle? I hope so. I'm going to run to the edge of this world. I'm going to show you how big these worlds are. Talking about, can I build Skyrim? Each one of these blocks is 32 voxels, or pixels, that are 3D pixels in space, right? So the detail could be extraordinary if you're creating something. Oh, interesting. I don't know if you've seen this, if you all have noticed this, but this is a metaverse feature. People have asked a lot of questions about this. How do you get to adjacent lands? Well, if we were in the metaverse right now, it would tell me what destination was off the edge. Where can you go? And if somebody had built a game experience and published it to the metaverse, it would tell you that there is a game experience right there. They'd have a little preview image of what it is that you could just click and go. Not going to do that, obviously, because there is no game experience to go to. Will there be a view map feature? Yes. By default, inside the game maker right now, you start by saying, where do you want to go today? You're zoomed in on the map. And it shows each individual parcel. So you can see this. Look at how huge this is. This is massive. I'm just running along the plane. I haven't even worked with vertical space. The folks who have designed these games with vertical space so far have made games that feel massive, can take, 20, 30 minutes to play a simple game in just a 1x1. And this is huge. Designing a game in this, if I was to guess, you can make a simple game in a month, a complex game in 6, I think, not counting designing all your assets from scratch. So these bigger projects that people like to undertake, and these projects that we've been working on in the back end in partnership with these creators, with these artists, they are going to be very large, like this. I don't know if any of them are 4x4 right off, but I know that many of them are much bigger than 1x1s. We've got, I think it was on our Twitter earlier today, they said something like 40 games at launch for the metaverse map. And then, of course, your games will start to come to that over time. So there's going to be a lot to do, a lot to play. And with spaces this huge, like look at how long this is taking for me to run from one end to the other. Just running. There's no obstacles. There's no quests. There's nothing in the way. Nothing to find, hunt, do. And it just takes forever to run, right? These are huge games. Huge games. So you can look forward to that. Let me see here. Press tab to do that. I'm going to go back home. I'm not going to save that. In 6 months, you do a 3x3 in just 3 weeks? Oh, okay. All right, Aloe. Okay. Do it. That'll be great. I want to see it. Get that done. Let me see that game. That'll be cool. So yeah, let's see here. The time is now 11:01. I don't know what's going on here. I want to go to the main menu. Did I click no? I probably clicked no. I'm a weird one like that. All right, so now the time is 11 o'clock. There have been 75 responses to our form. I'm going to say we are no longer accepting responses to the form. And for the last couple of minutes here, if you all have questions that you'd like to ask, please put them in the chat. Anything about the Sandbox. If it's about the future, I'll give you the best answer that I can give you. If it's about the present, or a question about the game maker, about VoxEdit, I'll give you the best answer I got for you. And I want to help you, again, create the best possible game experience. And Panda, I appreciate you in the chat. I appreciate you. And I can't wait to see you streaming live right here on twitch.tv/thesandboxgame with some VoxEdit tips and tricks in a more complete way. Please, if you would, reach out to me after the show here, because I want to get you into our Slack channel and get you all the tools needed to do streaming so that you don't have to think when you start up a stream. You'll just be able to start it and enjoy it and chat with people and have some fun making some great content. So let's go. I'm going to just type RNG, get my random number generator going here for these 75 total responses. And thank you so much for joining me today, everyone. User number 55 is the preliminary winner here. So I'm going to type 55. Press enter. This person has to be the luckiest person I've ever seen. I swear to you. This is great. But I have to verify that I did not award them a Wizzy NFT before. Because remember that this is a unique reward. You can only win one Wizzy NFT asset. So 1 second while I double check this. I guess not. Good on you. Congratulations, user Zion again. All right, and I'm saying it like that on purpose because I think that it's funny. But user Zion again via twitch.tv has won a Wizzy NFT. So congratulations on winning your Wizzy NFT today. Look forward to that coming through some point during the day. This comes directly from Alex's wallet. So I'll send it over to him. I believe he's in a meeting right now, which is why he hasn't joined me this Wednesday. But I believe Alex will be joining next Wednesday. And of course, I will see you again on Saturday. And I'm going to be working hard on the back end to help make it really easy for our new streamers that we will be having come through within the next few weeks, maybe even next week. So stick with us, and I will see you guys on Saturday. Thank you very much. Again, congratulations to Zion, and hope you enjoy your rest of the week.